Hello, this is Frodo and this is our next budget deck tech video. Today we are going to check out Blue-Red Wizards in their budget version. There are many builds floating around and I wanted to make mine as cheap and as powerful as is possible. The deck came out really well. It can end game quickly, but also has some cards that let us survive the late game. What is also great, you should be able to get it for less than 10 TIX. I purchased it for 8.5 TIX on card holder about a week before sharing this video. But enough talking, let's head to the brewery. Our most important card is Cinderwind. She's fast and evasive creature, which also gives each of our wizards, herself included, prowess-like ability. She can close out games out of nowhere and it is just great. We included 3 copies of this card in our deck list. She isn't our only legendary creature, as we also have Narumea, Master Wizard. She has Flash, can copy instant or sorcery spell and gives our wizards +1/+1. That card is a decent lord. We can use her ability in the late game to finish the game with double board or a copy of any other instant sorcery we need at the moment of casting her. What is also useful, we can play her after our opponent's declaration of blockers, so we deal some additional damage or save ourselves from losing creatures by making them bigger. We can pull out some serious combat tricks here. Even though this is a pretty good card, I don't think we need more than 1 copy of it in our list. We need at least 5 mana to cast her and copy the cheapest instant we have, so we are better with just single Narumea in our deck. In our 1-drop slot, we included Siren Stormtamer and Gitu Lavarunner. We have 4 copies of Siren Stormtamer, which is not only a pirate but also a wizard, and that is what we need. This flying creature lets us deal some damage fast, and later we might leave her with 1 mana up as a protection for our legendary creatures. Also, flying plus prowess-like ability, which she can get thanks to Decklist, is a perfect combination. Gitu Lavarunner is kinda awkward 1-drop. We can't use its ability in the first turn, but it is still great. It gives us Wizard on board, which works really well with not only Decklist, but also some of our instant spells. And Heaven Haste might be important in the late game, as we have ways to pump our wizards and deal unexpected amount of damage. We included 4 of them in our deck list. Now check out the 2-drop creatures slot. I will begin with a great card which is somehow commonly omitted. It is Merfolk Trickster. I don't know why it isn't included in every wizard list. For just 2 mana we get 2/2 flash creature that can tap our opponent's creature and that can win us games sometimes. Tapping a blocker at the end of our opponent's turn is just great, and this Merfolk as a wizard synergizes really well with the rest of our deck. We have all 4 copies of this guy. Spellweaver Eternal is a simple card, 2/1 wizard with prowess for 2 mana, nothing more. Can get big with our Decklist and other spells. Nothing to add, it is budget friendly and pretty powerful card in our build. We also have 8 powerful burn cards in our deck, and the most important is Wizard's Lightning. It is 3 mana red instant spell, but if we have a wizard on board it is 2 mana cheaper, so it turns into Lightning Bolt in standard. There is Lightning Strike too. 2 mana, 3 damage, it is decent and does its job. If you want to go in aggro mode, you can change them for shock. We also have Charred Curse and the Flame of Keld. Thanks to them we can get into what we need pretty fast. The one we need from the very beginning of the game is Charred Curse. It draws us 2 cards, but we have to discard 1 unless we attack with our creature. It is okay for us since we have 8 1-drops and will probably start nearly every game with 1 in hand, so it is easy to cast Charred Curse with Ride on the 2nd turn. Anyway, without Ride it helps us turn on our Lavarunner, so it is also kinda right, and with it gives us 2 draws for 2 mana, which is also great. We have 4 copies of it. A Flame of Keld is more of a mid to late game card in our build. We would love to cast it when our hand is already empty, so we wouldn't have to discard anything. And then on the 2nd turn we draw 2 additional cards, and on the 3rd turn it gives us 2 additional damage we can deal with each of our red spells and creatures. We don't need more than 1 per game, and that is why we include just 2 of them in our deck list. As we play wizard theme deck, we also include Wizard's Retort. Normally we want to cast when we have a wizard on board, because it makes it counterspell in standard format, which is great. I love this card, it does terrific job. We have fast, cheap creatures and having a way to protect them or to interrupt bumps that our opponent would cast is really great. We have 4 copies of it. The last non-land card we have is Insult to Injury. I started playing this deck with just 1, but after testing I think that we should have more of it. It works really well with the rest of our deck. Combination of Decklist and wizards and this card can end game out of nowhere. Just with Decklist we deal 6 6 damage and the number grows with every single wizard. Additional burn that injury part of this card provides also might be useful, since sometimes all we need are these 2 points of damage we can pull out of nowhere, or our graveyard to be more specific. Our mana base is pretty straightforward. We have 4 copies of Salva Falls, which I truly recommend to buy. It is a decent land, even modern, and now, thanks to Dominaria reprint of it, we can get it even cheaper than it was earlier. We also have 9 islands and 8 mountains. I don't want to add here any Field of Ruin or Scavenger Grounds because we play a fast deck and having colorless mana could slow us down. Preferably, we want to win before our opponent can make use of Flipped Search for Ascanta or activate God Pharaoh's Gift anyway. Now let's head to the sideboard. We have 2 copies of Shock if we want to be even faster than we are, or if we need some early game removal. 2 Syncopate for additional universal counterspell. 3 copies of Essence Scatter against creature decks, especially these that include Scarab God, Hazoret or new Dominaria Angels. 3 Negates for control matchups, 2 copies of Deep Freeze as our blue cast-out alternative, and 3 Sweltering Sands against go-wide strategies. Now let's discuss non-budget additions. I believe changing Gitu Lava Runner for Soulscar Mage should be improvement. There are scenarios in which having a creature with haste is game-saving, but generally Soulscar Mage is just better. If you want to play more controlling game, you should also consider playing Baral, whose looting ability might help us a lot. You can add him in place of Spellweaver Eternal. Our mana base is already okay, I don't think we need any upgrades here. Maybe 1 copy of Scavenger Grounds should be there, but I think it isn't worth the risk. We want to be as consistent and fast as it is possible, and having colorless mana might stop us sometimes. And that is all for today's deck tech. You can find a list view of the deck in the description. If you have enjoyed the video, please support the channel by hitting this like and subscribe buttons below. See you soon!